presented by Horns and Hooves Entertainment. You're watching Buffalo After Dark.
Welcome aboard to Buffalo After Dark. It is April 6th. Of course, it's the usual Wednesday. For the five of us already here right now. But first, we're going to do the mock draft and we're going to cover some news. First and foremost, though, we've got Bob, Andy, and Luffy here. How are you guys doing?
I'm good. You?
Doing good. Finally made the jump to 4K ultra high definition.
That's a start. I mean, at least it's something to get off of.
Yeah, better than HD, and even sooner too, we'll be able to record in ultra high def.
So the first thing we talk about is getting off, Bobby. Come on, this is a children's program.
Yeah, after school specials here, Bobby. Get with this program.
Oh my god.
Oh god. Well, Andy, glad to hear you're doing better, man. I know. I know you've been busy with a bunch of different things going on. And
I've been sick for a little bit, but I'm getting better by the day. So
good.
Ready to get this mock draft going. I'm excited.
Oh, I'll send you a virtual hug. I got you.
Oh, kiss, kiss too.
Yes.
Oh, there it is. That's what I needed.
All right. And Luffy, I know you got some locally made weed up in your neck of the woods tonight.
Yeah, I just can't remember what the name of this because I'm pretty fucked up right now. So.
Oh, what the fuck? Because you can't remember.
Every name of this weed is at the end is get fucked, or yeah, it's fucked. Put it that way.
There you go.
Sounds about right.
Good stuff.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Get fucked out here.
Yeah. But hey, you can never go wrong with that. Although, as I say, though, we might have to hit some of that stuff when you go down to Bobby's wedding later this year.
Oh yeah, and by the way, this episode is not sponsored by Bud Light, but I drink a lot of Bud Light.
Yeah, I can tell. That's like your favorite beer in the world.
Thing I'm gonna have to figure out though is like for Bobby's wedding reception, it's 38 miles from the hotel I'm staying at.
Well, you're the stupid ass that ended up saying, "Oh, I'm just gonna get a hotel in the middle of Long Island," not realizing.
Oh, I got one like 6 miles from the church. That ain't that far. Then I find out your reception's 38 miles the other direction.
Oh yeah, you're like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go to Rockville Center and then go from there on out."
No, I did it in Massapequa Park.
Just be appreciative of he's come to your wedding, you fucking Chuck.
Aren't you too?
Oh, yeah, me and
I'm planning on it.
Yeah.
But
Got my rental car ready to go.
Same with you, Bobby. I'm staying at your house, by the way, Bobby. So.
Whatever that.
Yeah. And actually, I decided against the pickup truck. I'm running an SUV instead. So.
Yeah.
So.
SUVs are for pussies.
although actually, I might change it to the truck though. It depends. For a $5 difference, who cares? So all's good. But if you guys want to jump on the show, 92920560099 gets you on. We'll be here for a little bit because we're going to start off with some news first, and then we're going to go into the mock draft which is our second annual. So and we're.
I got first pick. Just me.
Yeah, kiddo. We know you got the first pick. Because you're gonna.
There's options. Hey, you know what? Hey, there's options to get to trade that pick. So if anyone wants to fucking bite.
Oh, trade still open?
Yeah. So for anybody who's curious, for those who are watching tonight's podcast, just to give you a reminder of who's getting what possession of picks, we actually decided who on teams a few weeks ago, but we actually wanted to come to fruition. And Andy's like, I want to make a trade, and so we ended up swapping picks and shit like that. So everything is finalized tonight. We're all set, ready to go. And then just 2 nights ago, we had a big debacle about who got the 27th pick, which actually belongs to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And Andy and Adam both accused me for cheating because I accidentally pulled a name card with my name on it. And
yeah,
they
you
said,
read the box,
probably
you
put
idiot.
your name on all of them. So
Well, you don't pick your own fucking pick. You get someone else to pick it.
Well, it worked out, and it turned out Sean was the winner of the 27th overall pick, which is now the Bucks. So to give you an idea of who has all the picks going forward, Adam has possessions of picks number 1, 6, 13, 17, and 22 and 28. So in general, he's got possession of the Jaguars, the Panthers, the Vikings, the Chargers, and he has both of Green Bay's first round picks. So that's that. Sean, while we're waiting him to get on, he has picks number 5 and 7, which both belong to the Giants, the Falcons at 8, and he has picks number 16 and 19 by New Orleans, and then he has number 26 and 27, which are owned by the Titans and the Bucks. Tom over here has a very late draft this year. He's got picks number 9, 20, 23, 24, 29, and 30. So 20 is owned by Pittsburgh. I'm sorry, no, 9 is owned by Seattle. Pittsburgh is owned by number 20. 23 goes to Arizona. 24 is Dallas. And then 29 and 30 is Kansas City. And then Andy has picks number 2, 3, 13, 11, 21, and 25. And picks number 2 is the Lions. And then Houston is number 3 and 13. The Commanders are at 11, and then you have the Patriots at 21 and the Bills at 25. So that's Andy. And then for myself, for myself, what, Andy?
I said, excited. Let's go. Yeah,
Bobby. Damn right. And then for myself, I have picks 4 and 10, which are both owned by the Jets, and I have 14 from Baltimore. And then I have 15 and 18, which now belong to the Philadelphia Eagles. And then I have the 31st pick, which is my last pick in the draft, which is belong to Cincinnati. So
yeah, you're too much of a pussy to trade me to fucking Eagles. You're like, oh no, they're worth more.
He's a very shiesty GM. Man, you can't make any trades with him.
Dude, I fucking offered him more. He wanted my number 1. I wasn't going to give him the number 1. I offered him more than enough.
Why not? I could have easily given you 15 and 18 and another pick for number 1. I could have easily done that.
But you wanted the number 1 plus you wanted more. If you said number 1 for those 2 picks, I would have took it.
Yeah, I would have, but I also said I also want 17, and I tried to swap a pick with you, but that didn't work out too well.
You want the first and the 17 for 2 picks, 2 lower picks. That's fucked.
Yeah, I know. Are you surprised?
No, you're trying to pull a fast one on me. You're fucking cuck.
You fucking give up the Jets. I know that's for goddamn sure. You weren't letting any of those 2 go.
Yeah, right. No.
I wouldn't either.
I was way too stubborn with those 2 picks with the Jets and the Eagles. I was way too, picky on that. I'm just like, no. I'm not willing to trade any of those picks because those are probably the 2 best picks in my library for right now, outside of Baltimore and Cincinnati. But I think between the 2, I think number 4 overall was probably the most valuable to me.
You wouldn't trade the number 4 for the number 1?
No, I wouldn't because if I were to trade 4, 10 would have to go with it. I just was not willing to do it. Even if it was for the Texans 3 and 13 picks, I would not do it.
I call you a shitty GM.
We'll see about that because I have some surprises in store.
Yeah, great. You're going to fuck up this whole thing too, huh? Crazy ass picks and players they probably don't even need. Watch.
We'll find out tonight. That's the only way we're going to know for sure. We'll find out tonight.
Absolutely. But hey, we got some interesting news today, and this actually broke first thing this morning, and I want to say it was around 7 a.m. or so. But Stefon Diggs got paid, and he got a nice extension, so he's going to be here for another 6 years. And just a little bit of details on what ended up happening with it. So it is an extension to his current contract, $70 million guaranteed. So it's 4 years, $96 million total, but the value can be worth more with incentives. And it was initially reported by Ian Rappaport this morning, and then also Adam Schefter had the same news around the same time, and we broke it on our page roughly about 11 hours ago. So great day for us keeping a wide receiver number 1, and good old Tyreek Hill, you're going to suck in Miami.
We'll see about that. But you also got to mention, too, is that because he's still on the contract for 2 more years, and he burnt 2. If you take the 2 upcoming years, this year and next year, and then the 4-year extension, that's a 6-year deal around $124.1 million. So on average, he's making $70 million in guaranteed money.
Yep, very similar to Tyreek Hill's contract in terms of the average annual value.
One thing I'm glad about, though, is they didn't have to trade him. So yeah, I'm glad. So let's go around the table. So what do you guys think of the contract?
I personally think it's a great contract. You pay the guy what he's worth, and he could have made more. I think in my mind he could have made more, but I think he took what he took because he wanted to stay with the Bills, and that's good on him. And I feel that he's going to be a good player for. You have him on our contract for the next 6 years, I'm pretty sure. So I think he'll be productive with Allen throwing him balls for fucking years to come. So I I think it's an amazing contract. It works for both parties, so it's good.
Yeah, just something about that contract overall, though, and I'll get to Andy, is I feel like the contract itself is very team friendly.
I agree. And I mean, the way that they extended it, and a lot of that getting front loaded is going to help, especially when it comes down to signing players down the line. It's a great addition, though. I mean, keeping them here. And the fact now, I mean, you've got, of course, you have him, Emmanuel Sanders, if he comes back. But then, of course, you have Gabriel Davis, who could legitimately become the number 2 wide receiver. You've got a pretty good tandem of receivers right now that you can easily work with. And keeping Diggs is a big-time insurance policy because he's your number 1 player right now on that side of the ball.
Yeah, the priorities have to be straightened out, and I'm glad that it is, because the thing is, because if anybody remembers from like 2 days ago, Doug Whaley, who ironically works as one of the higher ups in the executive department for the XFL, and he stated that the Bills wouldn't be able to afford Stefon Diggs based on what he wanted, and they would have to trade him. I'm like, well, here's the thing with that: if Doug Whaley were the GM and he got Stefon Diggs, I almost would be assured that they would have traded him. But I'm glad though that he's not the GM, because it just further proves his incompetence. It's almost as if Brandon Beane, when something big like a narrative comes out, like if you remember 3 weeks ago when J.D. McKissic decided not to sign with the Bills, everyone made fun of him. And it's like, okay, fuck you then. And then he goes out and gets Von Miller, and the same thing happens here.
Yeah,
it's like,
best signing of the offseason.
Yeah, and then Whaley right after, it's like, oh, I don't think the Bills are going to sign Diggs. It's like, okay, fuck you then. And then he goes out and just extends him.
It proves him wrong. Well, it shows how much of an idiot Doug Whaley was in his time here, because I mean, he absolutely did nothing. Oh wait, he was under Tom Donahoe, who was a total he was a total flamer as a GM, and did absolutely nothing to further the team except for basically be the so-called greatest person around. And of course, look what happened. That was back in the days when we had who was it? I'm trying to remember the coach. Oh, Greg Williams, wasn't it?
Greg Williams, yeah. Fuck. So, Andy, what do you think of the contract, Doc?
3 words: big baller Bean. Coming through again.
Yes.
Yeah, you're welcome, Buffalo fans. You're welcome.
Yep. So once again, thank you, Adam, for Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, that contract was great. All these, like we were talking in the pre-show, all these wide receivers are now getting paid, and more number 1 receivers are going to be asking for the same amount. Guys like Cooper Kupp that are going to be wanting a nice big contract, and others to follow suit. I just like to know where the hell he found the money. Where's this money coming from? I mean, I know the salary cap's going up every year, but man, where's he finding this, and how's he structuring it? It's crazy. But
he's been front loading a lot of stuff, though. I've been noticing that to try and help take down the hit on the cap.
No, he's a smart man. He just knows his shit. He just
got a good team with him.
Yeah.
The Panthers are crazy, dude. The Panthers are crazy to get rid of him. Panthers are crazy. I'll say that.
I think if they kept Brandon Beane, the Panthers, I think, would be where they are now, which is like in a friendly cap situation, and then they would go and work around it. That's what I think if they were to kept them 5-6 years ago. But it is what it is. But you know what? On the other spectrum, though, if you look at it from the inside out, Panthers themselves are doing okay with the cap, and they have, I think, the most of any team right now, so they can go out and spend it whatever the fuck they want it on. So, as far as Buffalo's concerned, they're getting up there, I think, to potentially win a Super Bowl this year, if not next year. That's what I think.
It's great for Josh Allen too. I mean, the chemistry he has with Stefon, both on and off the field. Like you said, they're like brothers. I mean, and it was good to get it done now. They were talking about his contract. early in this off season, and they're kind of speculating on if it was going to get done this year or the year after. And Stefon was kind of in the works of all these other receivers are getting paid. Well, I've done some pretty good things since I've come to Buffalo. What about me? And
absolutely.
And it just shows the commitment that Brandon Beane has to this team and the chemistry that him and Josh have going forward.
Yeah.
Now, my question is because they have a little bit of money lying around, do you guys honestly think at this point, I know it's going to piss off Adam because I know what's being said, is do you guys think the Bills should bring back Stefon Gilmore? Because the Bills have been linked to him on Sunday.
Now with the fucking
Get
pick I'm
them.
about to give him.
You're not getting them, so
I don't want him.
I think you go and I think you go Andy's pick and leave Stefon Gilmore alone because he's not going anywhere. So
Yeah, I mean, personally, I don't want to see him back. I could care less about him.
I don't know. It was just an interesting thought because a lot of people were talking about it on Sunday through this past week. So it's just like, well, okay, let's see where it leads to. But it doesn't seem like to me that they're going to get Stefon Gilmore. But I do think, though, and I wouldn't rule it out, I wouldn't rule out the idea of them getting Joe Hayden from Pittsburgh. I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, Pittsburgh's going to need a lot of help this coming draft.
Pittsburgh?
I mean, they're going to need some big-time help. I mean, especially with the fact that I was looking through like some of their biggest needs, and we'll talk about that when we get to the actual mock, but they need to rebuild some spots of their team altogether. And some of the things that I'm looking at is, I mean, they do need to bulk up their defensive line. They need a good offensive tackle, wide receiver. They really need to get an offensive linebacker. They could use potentially a safety, a corner, and maybe another running back.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting day for them, I think. But I don't know. I'm really curious, though, who will have the best first round of all the teams available this year? Because multiple teams obviously have first-round picks, like Green Bay, the Giants, the Eagles. You get it. I think all those guys are going to have some pretty interesting days ahead of them. But I also wouldn't be shocked, considering what the Eagles did just recently or a couple days ago, was they traded basically – their first round pick back to New Orleans, and they gained another first for next year. So Philadelphia, I forget the exact details of the trade, but the Eagles, I think, got a really nice fair haul in return for the picks that they got from the Saints.
It's good to have multiple firsts, man. I tell you, they had 3 coming into this. I mean, they just backed it up one and set themselves up good for next year too. So they're on a good track.
Do you think with all the wheeling and dealing, do you think the Eagles are the NFC's equivalent of the Miami Dolphins, just continuing to trade and wheel and deal and then getting assets in return for them?
Depends on the assets that they pick up. I mean, if they get a good draft and this year and next, I mean, can't really say anything but good for them. I mean, they're trying to build around Jalen Hurts.
and it's smart what they're doing. Like they're building around like him, so like they're building for the future, not building for like next year. They're building for like 5 years down the road.
Right. Seriously,
Yeah.
as many picks as you can. And I mean, if you have to flip a couple to bring in additional assets, by all means, go ahead and do it. I mean, that's literally what Beam did his first year as the GM of the Bills. I mean, here we are, we flip a bunch of picks, we end up bringing in a bunch of assets, and then we used it to build. And then you just go into the free agency and play it smart, and all is good.
So
Yeah,
hey,
absolutely.
by the way, like Bobby, where the fuck is Sean? And this mock draft needs to happen like within now.
Well, funny you just mentioned that. He's joining us now.
Woo! There you go.
Shut up.
Finally. Does that answer your fucking question?
Yep.
Well, yeah,
Just
now it answered.
You're getting a little
Fast to be
nervous.
late to the party, Sean.
Yeah.
Fucking hey, dude.
And while we wait for him to join us on here, and how about them Sabres coming back against Carolina?
Yeah,
Dude, the Sabres are,
man.
They've been
the
on
Sabres
fire
are on
lately.
fire right now.
It's a whole different team, man. This young group of kids, they're forming an identity. I love it.
Yeah.
Yep. So
I love the fact that they beat Carolina just in general. So
Yeah, it's a good win. Really good win.
I I love the fact how the Sabres are becoming a consistent winning team. Not this year, but for next year, I think they're setting themselves up really nicely. Because with the tempo they're playing, it definitely seems like the Sabres could be a playoff wildcard team next year.
Yeah, I mean the games have been a lot more watchable, especially over like the last month, 2 months basically. And then the other thing I look at is then with next year, I mean you've got Owen Power. I mean Paterka could possibly make the jump. You've got a lot of good players in Rochester that can make the jump.
Yeah, Owen Power is expected to sign next week, and Devin Levi is going back to Northwestern next year.
Right.
That's fine. He's got some unfinished business after what happened to him and what was it, the playoffs or whatever.
Yeah,
good. Take your time. Just don't pull a Cal Peterson and not sign with us. You know, that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, a lot of people think that Devin Levi is trying to avoid the Sabres and then go in for 2 more years and then become a free agent.
I've heard the same thing, and I've heard that he's more interested in not being with the Sabres than being with them. So,
well, I mean, he's doing pretty solid right now in college, and so if they're able to get him a contract within the next year and a half, I think they'll be at a really good pace. But the question becomes, if you bring in Devin Levi to an ELC contract, then what do you exactly do with Eric Portillo? He's a free agent next year, and UPL is in Rochester, and so far he hasn't really gelled. So the Sabres are going to have to make some difficult decisions here. Like, what do they do? Because you can't be an NHL team and carry 3 goalies in your system.
You keep Levi. You keep Levi. You keep UPC.
Mm-hmm.
You keep him, and the other guy, fuck that guy.
Portillo, let him out.
Let him go. Let him go free.
Who
if
knows
he comes back, then he's yours.
Yeah, and I believe Sean has just joined us.
Yes, I have. What's going on, gentlemen? Sorry I'm late.
Christ,
Long day at work.
Jesus Christ, Sean, you take fucking forever, dude.
Blame my job.
That's so good. Well, you didn't miss too much. We were just talking a little bit about the Sabres, how they're coming back now and actually playing a good last part of the season. But then we also ended up talking about Stefon Diggs getting paid today.
Right? Took him long enough. Shoot.
Well, we can all be happy now, can we?
Yes. Except for Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dallas ain't happy right now.
No, they are not.
No, Dallas is not going anywhere. But we'll find out in the mock draft of who, Tom solidifies with them. I'm really interested because you know what? I'm actually really excited about doing the mock draft. I'm not just saying, let's just push everything and just do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's going to be a very wide open draft this year. And I know a lot of people say it's not the best draft in the world, but if you look at it from within the inside out, this draft class alone is very deep on pass rushers and it's very deep on wide receivers.
Yes.
Okay, so let's get into it. Let's stop fucking around. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
I will show you guys one tweet that just ended up coming out, and this is actually pretty hilarious. So apparently there's a meme that ended up going out on Twitter that actually got tweeted to Stefon Diggs.
Nah, I saw that.
Hold my beer.
I saw that.
Fuck yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Thanks to the Bills card guy.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
So as we get into the draft, what'll happen is if you guys want to call in and talk about picks that we're making, 92920560099 will get you on the air. And what we'll do for now is let's get started with the 2022 mock draft.
Let's do this.
Yeah, buddy.
All right.
Oh, give me my first pick.
Sure.
On the clock.
Fuck it up, Adam.
Now, of course, on the clock, we've got Luffy with pick number 1, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
And you know what? This is not, you know what? I thought about this pick and I looked over it and I was like, you know what? I think the best pick, and I'm gonna take, and this is what I don't like going everyone else's fucking opinions, but it's the best pick in my mind. I'm gonna take Aiden Hutchinson, the edge, Michigan.
Okay. You know what?
Wait, are we not showing it like a screen or something, or
what's up?
actually.
Yeah, that'd be great. So yeah, I'll send you a link, Sean, of what website we're using for the mock draft, so that way you're not lost.
Right.
I'll send it to Instagram to make it easier for you.
I'm taking Aiden Hutchinson
Very
Aiden
nice.
Hutchinson out of Michigan.
out of Michigan, the edge.
All right. So
Very nice. Bruce. Very nice.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
That's the best pick in my mind. That's the best pick in it, like as I could come up with. I looked at offensive linemen that I won't say, but
Yep.
I thought that Hutchinson was the best pick.
Absolutely. So Tom, to answer your question about what you're trying to do, just press the plus button and it will come up on the screen immediately.
where's the plus button on here?
It's next to his name. If you look up Aiden Hutchinson, there should be a little plus button there. Or oh no, you have to resume the draft. Sorry. So go to the black bar. Yep, right there. So it should say it, and there should be a little black bar there. There you go. So Aiden Hutchinson going first overall.
All right.
All right. Andy, it's your turn. With the second overall pick, belongs to the Detroit Lions.
All right, boys. This is going to be a bit of a shocker, as I was thinking about it earlier. A lot of good picks that can come out of the second overall, but this might be a little shocker to some of you. But without further ado, the Detroit Lions' second overall pick will be Malik Willis, quarterback.
No, you son of a bitch!
From
Malik
Liberty.
Willis to the
Wow.
Lions.
Yes.
Oh,
Son of a bitch!
The Lions
So-
get their quarterback of the future.
So wait, let me ask you this: why did you go with Malik Willis?
Well, because Jared Goff isn't going to be around much longer, and it gives Malik Willis a year to prep and be ready to go the year after. Kind of redshirted, and get him going starting next year. Like I said, this was brewing in my mind all day today.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh snap, Andy! You just fucked my whole draft.
Oh, I know.
Now the weird thing
Makes
is,
sense.
apparently, for some reason, this is not letting me put Malik Willis in here, even after
That's
I
so-
returned it.
Wait, restart it on the top. There it is.
There we go.
Oh wait,
Hey,
that's not.
except it's
moving
Garrett
forward.
Wilson in there.
Yeah, start over. Start over.
Technical difficulty.
Oh wait, it says select all. So if you select all, and then you go to let's draft. Yeah, first round, and then let's start. There you go.
There we go.
That's what you want to do.
And then you did.
Malik Willis out of Liberty.
There we go.
All right, now we're up to date. So Andy once again has the third overall pick, which belongs to the Houston Texans.
Yes, sir. Back at it for number 3. The Houston Texans, third overall pick, select linebacker / defensive end, Trayvon Walker, Georgia.
Oh,
Wow.
Oh, snap.
wow.
Trayvon Walker. This is an
That's a
interesting
good pick, though. That's a good pick, though.
I got to give you credit for that, Andy. That is a really nice pick. I will give you say that because I really thought going into all the mock drafts, I really thought Kayvon Thibodeau was going to be the guy to go to Houston.
It's a tough pick, but the amount of upside I'm hearing about this kid, he's pretty well. So I felt pretty confident about it for the Texans.
Fair enough. Yeah. So with the fourth pick, which belongs to me, I am in possession of the New York Jets. And because I am surrounded by these fucking asswipes every day, because I live downstate and having to see a lot of Jets coverage, believe me, I absolutely fucking hate these people because they are fucking crazy and anything with them goes. So, to my surprise, with the fourth overall pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Sauce Gardner, quarterback,
there you go.
Cincinnati.
There you go.
See, that's not what I thought. I thought you were going to pick someone else. I really thought you were going to pick someone else for that.
Wait, so you knew I was going to take Gardner?
No, I thought you were going to take somebody else.
No. I went with Gardner because the Jets desperately need a shutdown corner. They need their guy, and they don't have one. So I think Gardner would be a really nice pick for the fit for the Jets. So
Yes, they do.
that's what I think. All right,
Fair
Sean,
enough.
Wow.
you are
Good pick.
Absolutely. So, Sean, you're at possession at number 5 with the New York Giants. You're on the clock.
All right. So all my draft picks will be based on team needs, of course. So with that being said, with the 5th pick in this NFL mock draft, the New York Giants, aka I, select Garrett Wilson, wide receiver, Ohio State.
Ooh, Garrett Wilson. Okay.
Ooh. The half
Interesting.
Chava.
So why did you pick Garrett Wilson, Sean?
Well, based on the list of wide receivers in this draft, I picked the top rated one, which was Garrett Wilson.
Okay.
And plus, the Giants needed a bunch of help. So
Yeah.
good
Got
gosh.
him there.
Yep. All right. And so with the 6th pick belongs to Adam with the Carolina Panthers.
Okay, well, folks, drum roll. With the 6th overall pick in the NFL draft, the Carolina Panthers will draft Kenny Pickett out of Pittsburgh.
All right. Kenny Pickett to Carolina. So, which makes sense at this point because Willis was already off the clock and Pickett goes 6th. So,
No, I was already going to pick. No. So, no, I was going to pick Pickett either way. Pickett was my pick.
Oh, okay. Because I was thinking that Willis would be available at that point.
I thought that Willis would have went later. I didn't think he'd go like that high, Andy.
It is a mock draft. So Sean is back on the clock with the Giants at 7.
All right. With the 7th pick in this NFL mock draft, the New York Giants will select Andrew Booth Jr., cornerback, Clemson.
Woo! Andrew Booth.
Jesus,
Hey,
who the fuck's gonna protect Daniel Jones?
Wow.
No one
We're getting
predicted
there.
that.
We're getting
No
there.
one.
Damn, dude. So that is an interesting pick. I will say that for sure.
That's an out of the box pick. That's actually pretty good, interesting thinking there.
Very, very interesting. I will say that. There are some big names still available on that board that I think could be taken easily. So with that pick, Sean is once again back on the clock at number 8 with the Atlanta Falcons. Sean, you're back on the clock.
All right. So with the 8th pick in the 2022 NFL mock draft, the Atlanta Falcons will select James Cook, running back, Georgia.
James Cook, huh? Holy shit.
Wow.
So you're bringing a Georgia kid. I kind of find it interesting that you picked a guy that high to go in the top 10. You know what I mean? I think that's really interesting.
Well, almost went for someone else, but nah.
All right, fair enough. So why did you go with Cook though, among the other players available on the board?
Well, me personally, I mean, besides the fact that Georgia's my second favorite team, objectively speaking, though, I've seen the guy play, and I know there were other running backs out there that were better, but I really like the way James Cook played, and I figured, I don't know, why not the Falcons draft a fellow Georgia kid? So,
All right, fair enough. All right, and then at number 9, which is picked by Tom at number 9, is the Seattle Seahawks. With your first pick, Tom, go right ahead.
The Seahawks need a crap load of help, just straight up. But
Anything is good.
Yeah, biggest thing I want to do though, let's get the QB that's gonna be here for the future. I am gonna go out of Mississippi, Matt Corral.
Corral. Wow.
You know what? I thought about Matt Corral myself.
Matt Corral's a good pickup. So I definitely would say that's a good pickup for Seattle. I would have liked Ritter, but then again, this is your mock, so fair enough from that perspective, you know. So Willis is already taken, Pickett is taken, and Corral is taken. So 3 QBs in the top 10 are already taken in this mock draft. So, so we are back on the clock again with the New York Jets at number 10. And there's a lot of good choices available in this one. So with the 10th pick In the 2022 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Jameson Williams, wide receiver, Alabama.
Oh,
Ooh, nice.
Okay.
Snap.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the Jets desperately need a wide receiver, and they've been trying really hard to get DK Metcalf. Seattle said no. They tried to get A.J. Brown. The Titans said no. They tried to get Tyreek Hill. That didn't work out too well, and they were a top 2 finalist for Tyreek, so they were out of the picture. So it only made sense for them to draft wide receiver in that position. So that's why I went with with James Williams at number 10.
That's a good pick.
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely. All right, Andy, you're back on the clock, buddy, at number 11 with the Washington Commanders.
all right. The newly named Washington Commanders picking up.
Stupid name, by the way.
Yeah,
High school varsity team name.
Yeah,
it
well,
should still be called the Redskins.
let's see how much they actually command the field this year. Picking up Carson Wentz. There is a there is a hole in a certain position, and with the number 11th overall pick, the Washington Commanders pick wide receiver out of USC, Drake London.
Drake
Motherfucker.
Ooh, okay.
Wow. All the good ones are going out.
Motherfucker.
They need one across from Terry McLaurin, so why not give Carson Wentz another weapon?
Fuck yeah.
I actually like that thought too, because I was thinking London was going to be probably like top 10, top 12.
Well, yeah, he's sitting there. I'm like, well, I mean, I could take him or Olave. But, you know, I think
It would have been my next pick, you fuck.
Fuck yeah. So,
So,
all right. So, Adam is back on the clock at number 12 with the Minnesota Vikings.
See, this is I feel like, okay, with the 12th overall, I'm gonna have to go with Gardner, cornerback, Cincinnati.
I took him already.
Oh, you took him? Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Okay, well,
I took him at 4 with the Jets.
oh yeah, so you did. Fuck me.
As
Nope,
I said,
no,
the
I'm-
screen, I've got the top cornerback still available in the draft.
Well, let's see. I mean, if you go to team needs, let's see. We're the Vikings. Minnesota. Oh, wait. That's the
You
NFC.
need a cornerback. You need a cornerback.
Where the fuck are the Vikings? I'm trying to find team needs, and there's no use of the Vikings on here.
Guess they don't
What the
need
fuck?
any.
Oh, wait, here it is. Cornerback, defensive tackle, safety, edge, and linebacker. That's what they need. There's a lot of good ones available. So take your time with this pick at number 12.
You know what? I'll go with my second pick. Who picked him in a way? I thought you were gonna pick him actually. Derek Stingley Jr. cornerback.
There you go.
Yeah, still
Derek
get a
Stingley
solid
Jr.
cornerback.
That's a great pickup. Good
There
job,
you
Minnesota.
Well, I thought you were gonna pick him up beforehand.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
No. I went with the best one available with Sauce Gardner. There was no way I was taking Stingley. But that's just me personally. But who the hell do I know? All right. And then number 13 is Andy Van Meer with the Houston Texans second round pick. Andy, you're back on the clock at 13.
All right. Back with the Texans again. The Texans are going to roll with quarterback, Davis Mills, which I kind of thought was a little out of whack, but unless they see something I don't in that kid, if they're going to run with him, then they need somebody to protect them. So I will be going with, out of the University of Bama, I think he's a
Motherfucker.
guard, Evan Neal.
Yeah, that's a good.
Evan
pick.
Neal.
Nice
That's
pick.
a solid pick. That's a solid pick.
You said Evan Neal, right? Good pick.
Yes, from Alabama.
Really nice pick there.
Alabama
Fucker, I was
Slammer.
going to take that. All right,
Oh,
Yeah,
fine.
you ain't getting it now, fucker.
You know, that was gonna be my next pick, but I'm like, all right, well, Neal's clearly off the clock, so it is what it is. But I like that thinking with Houston, with giving Mills some protection on the offensive line. So I like that pick from Houston on that end. All right, so going in at 14 is the Baltimore Ravens. So while I was watching everybody else pick, I'm just like, well, let me see what they need, and I could just basically just take what I have and go with it. And I really thoroughly thought about it, and I thought of Bradley Bozeman, and I'm like thinking, well, he went to the Panthers, so it only makes sense to draft a lineman at this point. So with that pick, I'm going to take with the 14th overall pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. The Baltimore Ravens select Akeem Ikwanu, offensive tackle of North Carolina State.
Oh man!
Ooh.
Now before I talk about that pick, man, Andy, solid pick on Evan Neal, 6'7", 350. Holy crap!
Yeah, he's a absolute
He's a big boy.
Man, now who was this guy? Who was it? Let me see. Oh,
Akeem
Akeem.
Ikwanu. He's out of North Carolina State.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's a good pick.
yeah.
Yeah, that's listen. The Ravens.
Yeah.
need
6'4",
a lot of
320.
He's a big boy. I'll say that. So,
Yeah,
but
you want an offensive blocking tackle that big there.
I'm just like, fuck it. Give Lamar Jackson all the help he needs. I mean,
Yeah.
it clearly helps. I mean, it would make sense for me to take a lineman at that point. All right.
People think he's going to go a lot sooner.
Yeah, for certain. All right. I am back on the clock at number 15 with the Philadelphia Eagles. And boy, do I have a fucking bombshell with this pick. I have something really surprising in store for you. So, with the 15th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Kayvon Thibodeau, linebacker for Oregon.
Wow, come on.
Yep.
What?
Wow.
Yep. I went with the Eagles because for that reasoning, they desperately need help at linebacker. So they don't have anybody to fill the hole. So it only made sense for me to go with a linebacker, or in this case, best player available. So that's what I did there with Philadelphia at 15. And there was a reason I kept 15 and 18. There's a very good reason I picked those picks. So there you have it. All right. So Sean O'Malley is back on the clock at 16 with the New Orleans Saints.
Oh boy, New Orleans Saints. You want to talk about it? Shoot, everybody keeps saying the Giants need help, which is true. How about the Saints, man? Holy crap, the stuff they've gone through. So, first off, I'm kicking things off with a quarterback. So, with that being said, with the 16th pick in this draft, the Saints will pick Malik Willis, quarterback, Liberty.
You got taken.
You got
Gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
Dang it, crap! I wasn't listening.
Yeah, so
my bad. All right, I'll take Sam Howell out of North Carolina.
Sam Howell?
Yep.
All right. So why did you go up with Howell and not somebody in the later rounds or another position of need, do you think?
Well, how do I explain this? There are like this. So I feel like it's a rarity that quarterbacks throw accurately deep passes, and trust me, the Saints are going to need a quarterback with that kind of ability.
Yeah, I can see why.
Not trusting Jameis Winston that much, are you?
No, nobody does, I don't think.
Even though he had a pretty decent year before he got injured.
Yeah, decent. Yep. What happened since then?
Yep.
Well, it's another crack at it this year.
Let's see here. Who has the Chargers? Adam. So Adam is on the clock at 17 with the Los Angeles Chargers. Adam, you're back on the clock.
Okay, with the 17th overall pick, I will take Jameson Williams, wide receiver, Alabama.
I took him already.
Looking at your board.
What the fuck? Okay, all right.
Christ.
I took him already.
If it was a real draft, you'd be looking like you're fucking nuts.
Okay, well, my other option is George Karlaftis, edge.
Oh, okay. All right, George Karlaftis. All right.
I have one to two. I didn't actually understand that. Like you actually took Jameson Wilson. Okay, All right, so George Karlaftis.
All right, fair enough. And you know what? The Chargers desperately needed it. I mean, imagine Karlaftis with Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack next year. Holy crap. The Chargers pass rush would be really good next year. So
He looks like he looks like a solid player too. He's a solid arm player, so it's a good pick.
Oh yeah, I agree with that 100%. All right, so I am back on the clock again at 18 with the Philadelphia Eagles. So I'm going to take the best player available at this point. So with the 18th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Kyle Hamilton, safety, Notre Dame.
Very nice.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's a solid pick right there.
Yep. And you know what? The Eagles are going to need all the help in the fucking world with their defense. I mean, they needed a linebacker. That's why I took Kayvon Thibodeau. And they needed a safety desperately. And that's why I got Kyle Hamilton, because Steven Nelson is just not doing the job. So in this case, Philadelphia could really use a guy like Hamilton on their team. So we'll see where this go from here on out with the Eagles. So I think that's just a good generalization from that point on. So I think we can all agree on that. So Sean is back on the clock once again at number 19, which is hosted by the New Orleans Saints. Sean, you're back on the clock.
All right. So with that being said, I've been looking at a little bit of defensive needs for the Saints. So with that being said, with the 19th pick in the NFL mock draft, the Saints will pick Daxton Hill, safety, Michigan.
Ooh, good pick. Daxton Hill. Which makes sense. I mean,
Yep.
Imagine him being paired up with Marshawn Lattimore on the backfield. Oh my God. And it also makes sense because Marcus Williams signed a monster contract with the Ravens in the offseason. So it makes a lot of sense to why this would be the case with
I thought he was gonna go sooner. I thought he was gonna go sooner than this, but yeah, it's a good pick.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, I think that's a really solid pick for New Orleans right there. Good job, Sean. All right. So at pick number 20, which belongs to Tom, is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
They've got a few needs. And I was thinking about it, it's like, okay, they need a defensive lineman, offensive tackle, wide receiver, offensive linebacker, safeties. Like, oh my Lord. But they also do need a cornerback, and this will help, of course, Trubisky. So, well, actually, no, it'll help the defensive side of the ball, of course. I'm going to go with the 20th pick in the mock draft. I'm going to select cornerback out of Florida, Kaiir Elam.
You motherfucker.
Oh, about time you got a player.
You son of a bitch.
Wait, who did you take?
Kaiir Elam out of Florida,
I hate you.
the cornerback.
I hate you, Tom.
He's a cornerback. Okay.
Andy, it sucks when someone steals your player, right?
A little bit.
Yeah. All right. So with the 21st pick, which is now belonged to, just to be clear here, Andy Van Meer with the New England Patriots at 21. You're on the clock.
Well, really gonna be upset with Tom because he took one of my favorite players in this draft just now. And who took this last player? Somebody took another corner. I forget which one it was.
Yeah, I can on the screen. I can kind of go through like who's out there so far. So
Bobby, can you do me a favor, Bobby, or whoever's controlling the draft simulator? Can you go to corners available? I just wanted to double check on a player.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll check corners. I got plenty of them.
Yeah, this is everyone that's available so far.
All right. Let me just okay.
Oh, there's a couple good ones still left.
Yeah, McDuffie would be the best available right now at 28.
Fuck the Pats.
I would have went Mercury. He's better.
You know what? I will go with the Pats taking the cornerback from the University of Auburn, Roger McCreary.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Okay.
See that's another pick that I wanted. Fucking, I shouldn't even said his fucking name.
it's just not been your day, has it been, Adam?
No, not at all.
Well, guess what, guy? You're on the clock next at 22 with the Green Bay Packers. You're on the clock.
Green Bay, I haven't really thought too much into, to be honest.
Well, they got a lot of help. They need wide receivers,
They need
linebackers,
defensive
offensive
line.
tackles,
They need
corners.
defensive line. They need defensive line. Fuck. What's left for defensive line?
Defensive line. Let's see. There's
There's
a
some
bunch of
good
them available. Are we talking defensive tackles? Are we talking edge rushers? Are we talking linebackers here?
Defensive tackle.
Defensive tackle. Okay. There's plenty of them available.
Fuck.
Yeah, the top 10 available are on the right side of the screen for you.
Oh, fuck me. Is anyone taking Wyatt?
Devontae Wyatt?
Devontae Wyatt.
Yeah, he's still available.
Oh, I'm taking him. 22nd.
All right.
Out of Georgia. Devontae Wyatt.
Devontae Wyatt out of Georgia. The Green Bay Packers at 22. All
Wow.
right. Makes sense considering that Green Bay could use the help. I mean, they got Jerry Reed, but that's not going to be enough. Who's got 23? Tom at 23 has the Arizona Cardinals. You're up, guy.
All right. Two positions that Arizona needs help on: cornerback and edge rushers.
You gonna fuck me up again, huh, Tom?
Yeah, there you go. But anyways, cornerbacks are very deep in this draft. I gotta take the edge rusher Jermaine Johnson out of Florida State.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
He's lucky to go a
That's
lot
an ace
higher
pick
than
right
this.
there.
but-
Man, oh man. Arizona, man. I mean, they got to make up for it. I mean, it's a nice long-term piece that's, JJ Watt's not going to be around forever. So you may as well make up for it now while you can. Makes sense from that standpoint. All right, Tom, you're back on the clock at 24 with the Dallas Cowboys, America's team.
Yeah. All right. So, two things that come to mind for the Cowboys: they need either a good center or they need an offensive guard. And I'm thinking for the offensive guard, I'm actually kind of surprised he fell a little bit in this draft, but I'm going to take out of Boston College Zion Johnson.
Very nice.
Zion Johnson. Wow. Look at you go. Freaking Zion Johnson. Makes sense because, Dallas could really use the help on the offensive line, and they always go big game hunting for any offensive lineman over any big name player, period. So, a good pick overall by the Cowboys on that point. All right. So, at 25, which is hosted by Andy Van Meer with the Buffalo Bills.
You're welcome, Andy. That was my trade to you.
Thank you for the trade. I'm giving you props. Thank you very much for the trade.
Yep.
I appreciate it.
All right. Who are you taking on the clock at 25 with Buffalo?
Well, since Tom took my favorite cornerback that I wanted for Buffalo, I guess I'll have to go with my second favorite cornerback for the Bills, and that's from the University of Washington, Trent McDuffie.
Ooh, Trent
Oh,
McDuffie. I like
pick.
that.
That's a good pick. That's not a bad pick. That's good. That's a good pick.
That's a name, Trent McDuffie. I like that. That would actually be like a good entrepreneur sponsorship for like Duff's Wings or something like that. That would be pretty good.
Duff beer. No, Duff beer. Duff beer.
Or Duff's Wings bar. That would be pretty cool too.
No, like the Simpsons. You're not getting my point here.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying.
tough man.
Right.
I really want to. I really hope
God, love that, man. But I gotta say, McDuffie's a great athlete. He really is.
Oh yeah, I want the Bills to take Kyer Elam a little bit more than McDuffie just because of the height.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a bad second option for them, even though I feel it's the most glaring need on the team right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you take the best player available, and I think that's what you did there, Andy, at 25, was with
I
taking the
didn't
best
want the
cornerback.
Bucks to take them. I gave the Bucks or the Pats McCreary. I'm like, fuck that.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, Andy, I probably would have taken the if he's still available. I think he is Andrew Booth Jr. For the Bills, but
No, he
Booth got
wasn't.
taken early. Yeah, Booth went to the Giants at 7.
yeah, okay. I thought he did, but I was making sure.
Yeah.
The Bills and
So-
Pats both need corners, and since a couple of them went early, I had to make adjustments. I probably could have gone with Jerron Davis, but I mean the Pats have a good defensive line, so I kind of went with what they needed. But I want the Bills to get McDuffie if he's still.
No, it's a
Alright.
good pick. It's a good pick.
Absolutely. All right, John, you're back on the clock at 26 with the Tennessee Titans. So you're on the clock, guy.
Okay, so the majority of the Titans' needs are on defense. So, with that being said, with the 26th pick, the Titans will be taking out of linebacker U, also known as Penn State's Brandon Smith.
Brandon Smith. Wow. Okay. So I'm surprised you took him over what's his face? Jordan Davis out of Georgia. I'm surprised.
Hey, hang on, I'm just give me a second. I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you're
Bobby,
taking
don't
Brandon
shut
Smith?
the fuck up.
I will give Sean. He's had some really interesting stuff tonight in terms of his picks. But he's had some really good reasons for his picks too.
Where is this guy even rated? I've never even heard of him.
He's ranked at 57th overall among defensive players.
Holy fuck, man! That's a day 2 pick. Holy
Most
shit!
likely. Well, it is what it is. And guess what? Sean is back on the clock with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 27.
Okay.
Fire it away.
All right. And so this pick is definitely a day 1 pick. And with that being said, and a little help from Mr. Buffalo Bob right here, the Buccaneers will be taking Jordan Davis out of Georgia.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. Wow.
Well,
Holy damn.
I like that Davis pick.
Wow. I'm surprised. I think he would have fit better in the Titans scheme, but it is what it is. I like Sean's drafting thus far. I really do. I think he's done a fine job. So we'll see what happens. All right. Adam is back on the clock with his last pick in the draft at 28 with the Green Bay Packers.
Okay, so this pick, I actually thought about it because it makes more sense. It makes sense to Green Bay because they kind of need the wide receiver range. I'll just show me the picks again for the wide receivers. I'm pretty sure he's still available.
Yeah, there's a lot of wide receivers available.
Okay, so my pick for the 28th, right? 28th overall pick.
Yep.
And first round for the Green Bay Packers, Jahan Dotson, wide receiver to Penn State.
Wow, Jahan Dotson. Good choice. And you know what? It makes perfect sense since they traded Devontae Adams. So Green Bay will definitely draft a wide receiver this year.
That pick was locked in for me. Like I looked at him, I feel like that's a pick that they'll make. If they don't make it, then it's stupid. But
I personally think if he's available, they'll take Chris Olave over Dotson. That's just my.
I don't know. I think Dotson will go, but I feel Dotson's the better player. But it's just me. But
of course, yeah. I mean, you do.
Sure.
Yeah, you do what's best for you, Adam. Period. You go out and you draft the best player available. And you know what? I give you credit for acknowledging that Green Bay, desperately needs a wide receiver for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, you traded the best one in the game at Devontae Adams, and then you gain one in the draft with a young stud in Dotson. So I think that's really worked out well for you on that pick. So good job overall, Green Bay. All right. So Tom is up next at 29 with the Kansas City Chiefs.
All right. So actually, I got the next 2 picks, but wide receiver and edge rushers are definitely the 2 I'm looking at. And with my 29th pick in the 2022 NFL mock draft, I am going to take Chris Olave out of Ohio State.
Damn
Okay.
it. I hate when Casey gets anything.
Yeah,
pick.
Chris
You know what?
Olave at 29. And you know what? This is the perfect Tyreek Hill replacement. But let's see if he actually can live up to the, hype of the departure of Tyreek Hill. It's
Bob, he's not the same player.
Hey, give me one moment, okay?
yeah, we'll see what they do because we'll see this year alone if Kansas City is as good as they are advertised without Tyreek Hill. We'll find out this year. We'll see if Patrick Mahomes is the real deal. Okay, so Tom is back at it again, double dipping at 30 with the Kansas City Chiefs. You're back on the clock.
Easy pick. David Ojabo out of Michigan.
Oh,
Wait, whoa. You spoke too fast. Wait, who did you say?
David Ojabo, the edge rusher out of Michigan.
Michigan? And you said it was an edge rusher. Oh,
Mhm.
God. Yeah, I'm trying to find him on my board, so that way it would be easier for me to pick him up.
he was
David
highly
Ojabo?
rated until he fucking hurt himself.
All right. Okay. So this pick at 31 belongs to me with the Cincinnati Bengals. And to be honest with you, I had a really, really hard time picking who I would think would be available. And because mostly they need help on offensive line, like badly. And I don't even know where to begin with this because there are so
Drake
many.
Jackson.
Yeah. Like, I don't even know where to begin. I mean,
Drake
I can go in
Jackson.
any direction with this pick. So with that pick, with that being said, though, I will say this. With the 31st pick, with my last pick in this year's draft, with the 31st pick in the 2022 NFL draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Charles Cross, offensive tackle, Mississippi State.
Very nice.
Yeah. That's
I'm
good.
surprised he went down that fucking low. This is a top 10 player here.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a pretty nifty deal for the Bengals. I mean, they definitely need to protect Joe Burrow at all costs. And I think getting an offensive line or an offensive tackle in this draft is a must in Cincinnati's position. So, all right. And then we are down to the final pick of the 2022 NFL mock draft, which is belonging to Andy Van Meer with the Detroit Lions from the Matthew Stafford trade. So, Andy, kick it off.
All right, boys. Last but not least, the Detroit Lions are proud to select linebacker Devin Lloyd, Utah.
Ooh, Devin
I
Lloyd.
love it. I love it.
Yo.
It's a good pick.
Wow. Okay. So that is a hell of a pick. So let's take a look at the full results of the entire mock draft. So let's review all the picks. So first overall went to Adam with the Jacksonville Jaguars taking Aiden Hutchinson, which is an edge rusher out of Michigan. And Adam feels very confident about that pick.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's a no-brainer pick right there.
It really shouldn't be a no-brainer because he's probably the best player in the draft, I think, at least on defensive players, but I could very well be wrong. But Hutchinson, I think, will be a beast. There's no doubt about that. So at number 2 was Malik Wilson to the Lions out of Liberty, and Andy picked this one. So tell us, Malik Willis, are you confident with that pick?
I don't know if the Lions will fully go for that, but for me, it makes sense. I mean, Jared Goff isn't getting any younger, and they're going to need a quarterback. And with Malik Willis's stock going higher and higher by the day, it would make sense to me that they get their quarterback of the future, give him a year to get settled in, and then take the reins after next year.
Makes sense. And then you went back in and you double dipped on with the Houston Texans taking Trayvon Walker out of Georgia.
Yes, sir. They need their stud on defense to help get their D line going with some turnovers and some sacks. So Trayvon Walker's stock is rising by the day as well, and that was a pretty good, almost a no-brainer for me.
Solid pick.
Fair enough.
Definitely a nice
Absolutely.
choice.
Definitely. And then at number 4 was me with the New York Jets taking Ahmad Sauce Gardner out of Cincinnati. And I said it earlier during the mock draft that the Jets desperately need a shutdown corner. and he's declared himself as a quote unquote best player in the draft, or the best shutdown corner in the draft. So I said, all right, that makes a lot of sense for me to take him at that position because the Jets need a cornerback badly. So I think Gardner going that high, I think will really benefit them if they develop him right, of course, because the Jets have a history of not developing their corners too well. And I'm thinking from this point forward that Ahmad Gardner might be the guy for the New York Jets. And then at 5 is Garrett Wilson to the Giants. And I'm pretty sure, Sean, you were pretty comfortable with this pick.
I am. Like I said, the Giants need all kinds of help, and figured I helped them. Figured I kick it off with a receiver.
Yeah, for certain. And then at 6 was Kenny Pickett to the Carolina Panthers. And I think this was the favorite among the QBs that Adam wanted to take in this draft.
Yeah. So my 2 picks, obviously, Willis was one of my picks, but I feel like Kenny Pickett was in the long run. I think Kenny Pickett was the guy that they should draft. Not that I'm saying they're going to draft him, but he doesn't have like the, throw the Hail Mary kind of arm, but he's smart. He's fucking good on his feet. And I think it's a good pick. I think the Panthers will pick him up.
I think so. I mean, I think if he develops right, I think he'll be a really good quarterback for years to come, even though he's got the tiniest hands of everybody in the draft.
Yeah. Okay,
That's
Bobby, you're talking about tiny hands, and you have tiny hands. So don't, no.
Yeah. I mean, I know I have tiny hands, but whatever. So Sean went back at it again with Andrew Booth to the Giants at number 7. And you know what? It makes a lot of sense for that perspective because they desperately, just like the Jets, they need help at, at defensive backs.
Yeah. Yeah, I do agree with that. But then again, I also thought about getting protection for Daniel Jones or whoever the starting quarterback is going to be for the season. I maybe I should have gone with a tackle or something, but I'm still sticking with this pick regardless.
Fair enough. And then you went back at it again at number 8 with the Atlanta Falcons, and you really reached out here, buddy, at number 8 with James Cook out of Georgia. Surprise, surprise, a potential 3rd round, pick.
Yeah, I think I should have picked another different running back.
They need another wide receiver too.
I should have taken Kenneth Walker out of freaking Michigan State. Dadgummit.
Yeah, it is what it is.
That would have been a lot better.
I think so, but it is what it is. And then, Tom, you took Matt Corral at number 9 out of Mississippi for the Seattle Seahawks. Why?
Oh, yeah. Well, the biggest thing is that I don't like the trade where Russell Wilson went to the Broncos and who they got in return. And quite frankly, they need to develop a QB. And Corral, I think, is going to give them literally the best option outside of Kenny Pickett. So it was one of those things where I was looking at it for the long term. I'm thinking, okay, this will be probably the best option. They can build the team around them because, I mean, Seattle is going to be total crap this season with how they blew up the team. So, let's get an actual QB, let them develop, and then let them have the reins.
All righty. So that makes a pretty good logical sense there. And then at number 10, I went back at it again with the New York Jets, and I said it just like they did with cornerback. They needed a wide receiver. With that being said, I took Jamison Williams, who arguably is probably my favorite wide receiver in this draft. He's quick, he's got good hands, and he has good mobility. And I think he can get you the extra yards and you desperately need it. And for Zach Wilson to be a sophomore QB going into next year, and I know Adam has wet dreams at night about him on the Panthers, but that's never going to happen as long as he's playing there. Jamison Williams, I definitely think would be a really good excessive weapon for Zach Wilson to be having. So I think for the Jets to take Williams at that range, I think would really benefit them. So we'll see what the Jets do from here on out. I think, it really could help them with their rebuild going forward. And then at 11 was Drake London to the Washington Commanders out of USC. Andy, why?
Drake London, you said?
Drake London, yeah, to Washington at 11.
They need another wide receiver aside from Terry McLaurin. Who else is Carson Wentz going to throw? So
Well, they got Curtis Samuel. I mean, they have Curtis Samuel also, but it's not. There's no such thing as not having too many weapons. So I think, Drake London can definitely help with the Commanders going forward. So
Yeah,
we'll
and
see.
quite honestly, Wentz needs all the help he can get.
Mm-hmm. And then Adam at 12, you had the Vikings take Derek Stingley Jr. Yeah, is Adam here?
He's
I have
muted.
no idea.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm here. Jesus, relax.
Yeah, so how come you
So
took
the cornerback option was what the Vikings needed, and I feel like he was the best pick I could have picked at the of the bunch, and he's not a bad player. He's a smart player, so I don't know. I feel like he'll help if they get him. So
and
lot
Patrick
of,
Peterson and Patrick Peterson is going to be retiring possibly after next year, so we'll see.
yeah,
But
so it's all the more reason to have a new quarterback come in, and I feel like he'll fill the void.
definitely.
a
And
lot
then
of NFL guys think that he's going to go there too. So
yeah.
that's a pretty straightforward pick.
And
I think that's where he's going to go from the draft.
yeah. And then at 13 with the second pick in the first round by the Texans is Evan Neal out of Alabama. And you said because you want to protect Davis Mills in that scenario.
Yeah, they're going to have to. I could have gone with Hakeem Aquanu, but I think they're both at the same level, so I went with Neal instead. I mean, he was rated a little bit higher at times, but they can't go wrong with either one. They need to keep Davis Mills upright, and give them a little help on offense and a little help on defense to get their run going again.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, Houston needs to rebuild, and I think adding Evan Neal will definitely solidify that for sure. It would definitely get them going. And then at 14, I had the Baltimore Ravens, and I took Ika Migawanu out of North Carolina State. And I said it earlier is because I strongly felt that if Lamar Jackson is going to survive another fucking decade in the NFL, the last thing he needs help with badly is getting some protection. And I think adding Iguanau is going to definitely help the Ravens offensive line. And I know he's a young kid, but Bradley Bozeman going to the Panthers, I think really solidified a void for their offensive line. So I think adding him would really solidify that hole for the time being. So I think they would definitely hit a home run if they get him on there. So yeah. And then at 15, I had the 15th overall pick with the Philadelphia Eagles. Simply put it, with taking Kayvon Thibodeau, best player available. That's exactly what I did. And they also needed help at linebacker. So it made way too much sense for the Eagles to not take him at that point. That's what I think. And then, Sean, at 16, you took Sam Howell out of North Carolina with the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, well, I mean, look. Here's the thing: as much as I want to trust Jameis Winston, let's be real, man. Like, what has he done since his injury? Just think about it for a sec. He was good prior to it. Don't get me wrong, but after that, I feel like he fell off. My opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like when Teddy Bridgewater first came in the league. He was actually a pretty good QB, blows out his knee, and then was never the same again since.
Yeah, we won't talk about that.
Yeah.
And let's not talk about the whole crab legs thing either.
Yeah.
No.
Or how Mike Shanahan destroyed RG3's career.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. And then at 17 was the LA Chargers by Adam taking George Karlaftis out of Purdue. Smart pick. And I think, taking him would benefit with Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. Is there any inside detail of why you took the pick?
Well, it's just something they need, dude. It's what they need. Like, if I would have went somewhere else and tried to pick something else, it wouldn't have made any sense. It just makes more sense to pick the edge, right?
Mm-hmm.
So pick the fucking another lineman for Justin Herbert to stay upright.
Well, but then I would have missed out on him. So, like, I don't know. I feel like that was a better pick.
Fair enough. And then at 18 with the Philadelphia Eagles, and I took Notre Dame safety Kyle Hamilton simply because, again, the Eagles have so many holes to fill. And it just made sense for me to go after Kyle Hamilton, considering the fact that they don't really have anybody covering any top-notch receivers or tight ends at that point. So for me, I think it made too much sense for me to not take Kyle Hamilton. And plus, he was the best safety at that point after Kayvon Thibodeau was taken.
Okay, so I have to say one thing. Speaking of hose to fill, tell your mom to give me a call.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck
He's a top
you.
5 pick. I don't see him.
Oh my god!
You're such an ass. You know that?
I'm sorry, Bobby. I couldn't let it go. I had to do it.
I couldn't. I don't even know what to say, to be honest. I really don't know. I mean, that just came out of left field.
I know. I just couldn't give up the opportunity to make that joke. I'm sorry.
I know you do. And then at 19 is the New Orleans Saints with Daxton Hill that was picked by Sean. What do you think?
I like this pick. I'm sticking with it.
Do you know why you took him?
Again, it's all about the Saints getting all kinds of help, just like the Giants, and it's got to start with the defense.
All right. And then at 20 is the Pittsburgh Steelers by Kyer Elam from out of Florida, which is a cornerback. Tom picked this one. And why did you pick Elam, Tom, at 20 with Pittsburgh?
Well, I mean, Pittsburgh's defense needs help. I mean, there's spots that their offense needs help with, but the way I look at it, Pittsburgh historically, they've been a defensive team. Cornerback has been a spot that they've been lacking as of late. And this just gives them a perfect opportunity to really rebuild that side of the ball. And it's going to be a big help as that team gets a little bit younger. And it's going to, I think it was just more of a position of need, really, in that case.
Yep. And I know Andy was butthurt because I know he was ready to take him with 21 with New England, which is we're going to now. At 21 is the New England Patriots, and this pick was held by Andy. So you picked Roger McCreary. Why?
Well, they lost J.C. Jackson, the top corner for New England, and they need a replacement. Yeah, Tom took Elam, but I wanted Elam for a different team, not for the Patriots. But as much as I hate the Patriots, I gave him Roger McCreary. Fuck him. They need a corner, but then I wanted the Bills to take one or two corners, and since Kyer is gone, I had to fuck over the Patriots. Fuck them. I'm not saying. I mean, Roger McCreary is going to be a solid, probably number 2 corner, but I don't like him that much, so I gave him to the Patriots. Fuck him.
All right, and then at 22 was the Green Bay Packers, which was picked by Adam, and he chose Devontae Wyatt out of defensive tackle out of Georgia. Why?
Well, I kind of feel like Rodgers is going to need all the fucking help he can get, and this pick I really didn't give 2 fucks about, to be honest. And this pick was basically like, what can I do to help the Packers? I'll give him more defense because he's going to need it.
All right. And then at 23 was the Arizona Cardinals, and Tom had possession of this pick. And you took Jermaine Johnson, who's an edge rusher out of Florida State. Why?
Arizona needed it. I mean, the one thing they have to get better on is that edge rush position. And especially when it comes down to the latter half of the season, if Arizona is going to be a deeper playoff team, they had to boost that position. They had to upgrade. So I just want to be available for it.
Yeah, they lost Tony Jones. They got an aging J.J. Watt. So, yeah, I could see that happening.
Speaking of deeper, okay, never mind.
Get fucked.
Carry on. Sorry.
Get fucked. Anyway, at 24 is the Dallas Cowboys, which once again, Tom had this pick. And he chose Zion Johnson, an offensive guard out of Boston College. Why?
Dallas needs help at that position, straight up. I mean, if they're going to do anything to keep that offense going, they have to improve the guard position. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's just straight up a need position.
Fair enough. And then Andy, you had pick number 25, which is owned by the Buffalo Bills, and you took Trent McDuffie, the cornerback out of Washington. Why?
Well, since everybody had to take a nice run on corners, I believe that he'll be probably, hopefully, within the group of 3 corners that will be available when the Bills pick, which were Booth, Elam, and McDuffie. And seeing as how Booth went crazy early to the Giants, and with Tom picking, who I actually want the Bills to take in Elam, I had to go with Trent McDuffie, very versatile. Even though he's on the smaller side at 5'11", he's aggressive. He's a very good corner for starting as a second corner, aside from Trey White. So it's a position of need for the Bills. We all know, losing Levi Wallace to the Steelers.
Yeah.
And I fully believe they're going to go corner in the draft. I mean, they could make the surprise at receiver, but I think the glaring need is corner because it needs to be addressed, and it hasn't been addressed yet in free agency.
Yeah. Okay. And then at 26 was the Tennessee Titans. Sean, I'd love to know, what kind of drugs were you under when you took Brandon Smith out of Penn State?
Me too.
Honestly, I have no idea. It must have been some real good drugs that I've taken to make.
I want what you
that.
smoke.
This is the one pick I actually regret. That's on me. I should have picked a higher ranked linebacker.
Yeah, man. David Grabo was sitting there. I thought he was going to go there.
He should have been gone.
I mean,
that one's on me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what was crazier, that pick or taking Andrew Booth, or I'm sorry, no, James Cook at number 8. I don't know which one was more of a reach. That one or this pick.
The freaking, where is it again? The Brandon
Smith. Brandon Smith pick is the one that boggled my mind.
Yeah, that's
why I asked him. Like, I never even heard of this guy.
Like, my mistake, gentlemen.
Sorry.
All right. Well, if you stick with it, then that's fine. Just so you know, he's not going to get.
If they take him in the draft, you owe me $100, Bobby. I don't know why.
You know what? I would not be surprised because Sean has done some pretty stupid shit sometimes, and it actually came to reality. Like,
so do we do a mock draft 2.0 after this one?
We can for after the show, yeah, certainly.
What they actually draft? Once they draft, I want to have an episode be like, okay, they didn't draft that person, and you know what I mean. It just makes sense.
Yeah. So, and then Sean, you went back at it again with number 27 with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and you finally came to your senses, and you took the best defensive player available in Jordan Davis out of Georgia. How come?
Yes, that was my best pick in this draft. Hands down.
Well, why didn't you put him on the Titans and put him on the Bucks? That's what I don't get.
He had a.
I told you there was some special kinds of drugs I was taking at the time when I was picking for the Titans.
Weren't smoking my drugs,
but
so
I can give me. But I still think. But I also think the Buccaneers, could fit well for Jordan Davis anyway.
Fair enough.
They do need a tackle.
Yeah, maybe. And then at 28, Adam, with his last pick in the first round, is wide receiver Jahan Dotson out of Penn State at Green Bay at 28. Why?
Well, because this is the one Green Bay pick I actually cared about. And Dotson just, you know what? Again, Rodgers is going to need the fucking help. And Dotson is a very versatile fucking player. If I only ever watched him play at a Penn State. He's pretty fucking... pretty good at what he does, and I feel like it was a good pick. I thought about this for a week because the first pick I didn't care about because I didn't know where it was going to go, like what they actually needed on the first pick. But the second pick is like the what do you call it, the underdog pick, and the underdog pick is Dotson.
Yeah. And then at 29 is Chris Olave from Ohio State to the Kansas City Chiefs at 29. And Tom had that pick. Why'd you pick Olave?
Big reason, they lost Tyreek Hill. They need to rebuild their wide receiver core. So get him into the rotation, and it builds the depth right off the bat. And
not as good as Dotson.
Yeah, and basically it's kind of same reasons that Adam had for Dotson being going to Green Bay. But the other thing I also look at is with Olave. I mean, he was one of the better wide receivers available at the time during our draft, and I mean he's a little bit on. I think he's a little bit on the smaller side. I mean, he's only around like 185, 190, and like 6'1", but same thing. He can use that speed, and he has pretty good numbers in the combine. So it's a solid pick for them. But it was also they had to add the depth after Hill went to Miami.
I don't know. I feel like Dotson has the bigger stature. He's the better player, but
We'll find out. We're going to definitely find out in the next couple of years who turned out better between Green Bay or Kansas City, if it actually comes to reality, of course. And then with the last pick at number 30 for Tom is David Ojabo, the edge rusher out of Michigan, to the Kansas City Chiefs. Why?
His position of need. Kansas City was having some problems with defense last year, and edge rushing was actually one of the biggest spots that I noticed some issues with. So it's the same thing, as a lot of the other picks, position of need, but also I wanted to build the depth on it.
Okay, fair enough. And then at 31 is the Cincinnati Bengals. That was picked by me, and it was very obvious why I went with this one. It's Charles Cross out of Mississippi State, and the offensive tackle, is simply because Joe Burrow will die if nobody protects him. And I figured, fuck it. The last time they took an offensive lineman in the first round, it turned out to be Billy Price. And Billy Price got traded to the fucking Giants, where his career went to die. So I said, all right, Cincinnati desperately needs the help because they lost the Super Bowl, and their offensive line just went into shambles in that game. And I said, well, if Joe Burrow is going to have a long-term career in the NFL, you need protection. And that's why I went with Charles Cross, because he was the best player available in that position. That's what I think. And then finally, yeah, absolutely. I stick my guns with these picks, and I think I did pretty well for it thus far. But Charles Cross, I think, makes the most sense for the Bengals. And then finally, at number 32 in the first round is Andy with the Detroit Lions. And you took Devin Lloyd out of Utah. Why?
Why? Oh, I don't know. He only finished with 110 tackles, which was a team high. Third in the Pac-12, 22 for loss, 7 sacks, 4 interceptions, 2 returned for TDs. A Buck Kiss Award finalist in the last 2 years. And he can play any linebacker position. And he's fantastic in coverage. So why wouldn't you take him?
Yeah, I feel like this is one of my, I know it's the last pick and all, but I feel like that's one of my favorite picks because it feeds like a lot of fucking needs that Detroit has. And you know what? He's one of those players that can fill all the fucking holes in their goddamn lineup.
I think he'll be a defensive captain too in probably about 2 years.
Yeah, he very well could be.
He's a good pick. I think he'll go. I think he'll go higher, but like he'll go, in the bottom 5. But like I feel like the Lions is where he's gonna go. It's a good pick.
I don't think he'll be there. I think he'll be gone sooner. Like Luffy said, I think he might even probably go to the Eagles. That's where I think he'll probably ultimately go. But
he's gonna go higher. He's gonna go higher.
You can't go wrong with this guy. I mean, even looking now, I see a C on his chest for Utah. So I mean, it even proves anymore that he's going to be a captain on that team on the defensive side and for years to come. So I was pretty happy with that pick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So bottom line, did you guys have a good time with this mock draft?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I sure
it's fun
every day. Yeah, I definitely did. Adam, did you have a good time?
Yeah, I was, I'm stoned as fuck, but yeah, I had a great time.
Oh, fuck, dude. Yeah. So bottom line, though, I think that's going to be it. Because overall, though, I definitely had a good time with this draft for sure. And I'm looking forward to seeing the results of this video post the NFL draft. So we're going to find out in the end of May or in the beginning of May who ended up coming up on top and who had the most accurate pick.
I know for sure. I can guarantee it that my number 1 pick is going to go number 1.
Well, yeah, you had the first overall pick, so that makes a lot of sense.
No, but I know he's going to get drafted number 1. I just know.
I don't know.
No way.
so many places that Jacksonville can go.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let me just say this to one of my
the edge. I feel the edge position is where they're gonna go, dude. If they don't, they're retarded.
Yeah. So Adam feels strongly about number 1. Tom, what pick do you feel you're most confident with the picks you chose?
I would have to say I'm pretty confident with pick number 9 with Seattle and having Matt Corral go there.
Okay. And so
you know what? Wait. I'm gonna say 1, 6, and 28. I'm confident with.
1, 6, and 28. You're confident with,
Yes.
but what's the one that you would put your eggs in like the most? Like, where would you put your eggs in one basket?
Oh,
What pick would
number
you-
one. Number one.
Number 1. All right. So Adam says 1. Tom says 9. Andy, what about you? What pick are you confident in the most?
You know, mine was very tough because, with everything leading up to the draft, I mean, I know everyone was shocked when I took Willis at 2, but it makes sense to me. But they can go either way. I mean, if Hutchinson is there, they take the home state kid. If they like Trevon Walker even more, he can go to the Lions even more. The second and third picks were tough for me, but they both made sense either way. But the pick that makes most sense to me, if he's there, I mean, it's Trent McDuffie. If every others are gone, I mean, Trent McDuffie, and I would even say Drake London for the Commanders if he was there.
Yeah.
Because I know they're going to need a wide receiver. I just don't know who's going to be there for them at that pick. But
Dude, I changed my fucking pick just off the hop to say the Panthers are more interested in Wills than Pickett if he doesn't get drafted before.
I mean, Willis is going to be a top pick. Either he's going to the Lions or he's going to the Panthers. I mean, or maybe even the Seahawks if they don't, or even the Falcons. I mean, they all need quarterbacks eventually.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to say, dude. Pickett and Willis were the top quarterbacks they looked at, and from what I seen, they liked Willis better, but Kenny Pickett was still like a big top name. They still had a lot of injuries with them, so I don't know, dude. It could go either way. I don't know.
Yeah.
If Aiden Hutchinson doesn't go number 1, there's no way in hell that Detroit passes up on the staying home kid. I mean,
Well, that's what I mean, right? That's what I mean. Like, if he doesn't go number 1, it's going to be a fucking shock to me. I'll be shocked.
Yeah.
He's not going
We'll find
anywhere.
out come draft time for sure. So that's definitely what I think is going to be, because the draft, like, we can mock all these drafts boards every day until up to that point, but it's like you have honestly no idea what's going to happen. And that's the great thing about the draft is like you would project one player is going to go that high, and then another player could just get traded up to another team with another pick, and then it's just like whoosh, changes everything, completely changes like the whole landscape of the draft.
Yeah. Well, again, if Hutchinson doesn't go in the first round, in the first pick, I don't. That's their number 1 need, dude. I can't see them veering off the track to go for what else is in the top 5, right? I feel like that'd be it.
Yeah. And then Sean, what pick do you feel the most confident in?
Right now, I feel confident with my Jordan Davis pick. However, I would not be surprised if he got picked at a higher number, which more than likely he will.
Which team is this you're picking?
Tampa Bay.
Oh, Tampa Bay. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't hear you, so I was hoping to cash that, but all right. So you're confident in Davis. All right, fair enough. So for me,
I feel like Booth will go higher.
it's possible. I mean, we'll find out come draft day.
I'm just being a dick.
Yeah, of course. So Hutchinson at 1, Adam's confident in. Tom is confident at 9 with Seattle. Sean is confident at 27 with Tampa, and Andy is confident at 25 with the Bills. For me, I'm the most confident of all the picks I chose. I'm the most confident at number 4 with Sauce Gardner, because I said this earlier. The Jets desperately need a cornerback, really, really badly. And because they have probably the weakest secondary in the NFL, probably because they haven't established that in less than a couple of years, ever since they traded Jamal Adams. It's just like it hasn't been the same. So I think for them to get Gardner, I think would really benefit the Jets. So I mean, it really could help them as well because their secondary could get better from that point, forward. But I don't know. I mean, the Jets are just a very interesting team to watch in the draft. So I really don't know what's up ahead for them. So I don't really know. So it really just comes to see like what happens from that point on, because the Jets can do anything at this point. I mean, they could easily trade up at 2, with the Lions. They could swap picks. They could trade back with Atlanta at 8. They could do whatever the hell they want, because it is the New York Jets, and they're in a very good position with the draft. So I think they could do anything. But most importantly, I think they're most confident in with Sauce Gardner. That's what I think. And number 4.
Yeah, I think he's going to go there for sure.
Yeah, he's going 3rd or 4th.
Yeah, he has to be. The Jets are in desperate need of that position, so it wouldn't surprise me. I would even be shocked if the Panthers, got Gardner if they traded up for him. But I know they're more focused on quarterback. But I could very well be wrong, and they could, get an offensive lineman. They could very well do that too. So
Dude,
who the hell knows?
I've seen a whole bunch of mock drafts, and 90% of them are QB rated when it comes to like Willis and Pickett, but odd couple are offensive line. And
Possible.
That's the sauce man.
Yeah, Bobby, you got 2 good picks there with the Jets. I mean, Jameson Williams, I mean, even though he was injured, I mean, they're saying that this kid's going to be a big steal if he's, good to go with that knee. I mean, he's going to be a steal. And I hate to see both of those players on the Jets, to be honest with you, playing against the Bills, because I think they can both, cause problems for Josh and the defense. So those were 2 pretty good picks. I hate any of the picks that anybody in the AFC East make.
We'll see. We'll see what happens come April 28th for the night of the draft. So is there anything else you guys want to say before we wrap up this week's episode?
No, I'm good.
Go.
When are you giving or having your mom call Adam? Just so I can be in it.
Yeah, get him return my calls a little.
Oh, fuck you. How about that?
All right. Well, of course, everyone that was watching, we appreciate it as usual. And of course, it was a fun time on the mock draft. Other than that, join us next week as usual. And we'll go over some additional news details. And of course, we might even do this again too. So who knows? But in the meantime, guys, take care of yourselves and each other. We'll see you next time.
Later.
Right?
Buffalo After Dark is an Asian H Studio production and is produced in partnership with Horns and Hooves Entertainment.